record? All right. I've never actually tried recording and streaming at the same time. So this will either turn out really, really good or really bad. But yeah, welcome back. And thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to do a boss run. Every boss run, not just one. We're going to go and clear all the bosses with all the resin that we have available. And I don't think that will quite push us to AR38, but we'll be pretty close. We haven't cleared Stormtear for the week or Dvalin, and we also haven't cleared the Wolf, whose name I think recently changed. It was like Andrus or something before, and now it's something different. Anyway, let's just go through and clear every single one. And where better to start than up top with the Animo Hypostasis. Here we are. Now, we may come across, and when you're running around doing this, clearing chests, clearing bosses, you may find chests that have respawned. So I wouldn't just like sprint there. I would actually take your time and see, just peek around. I ran this earlier around reset, so I don't expect to come across any chests. But it's actually worthwhile to just keep your eye out and, if you see anything, stop, pick it up. AR-EXP becomes a pretty rare commodity once you get to AR37, so you really don't want to miss any. All right, let's begin. First up, Animo Hypostasis. I would say he's probably the easiest of all the Hypostasis. So, if you're looking for one to start with as like your first fight to break into, Animo's probably it. Moveset's pretty simple. You just dodge a few abilities. It's a relatively good starter fight. And I think it's intended to be that way also. Yeah, see. Alright, so then he breaks out into this phase. And during this phase, you have to collect these orbs. And if you don't collect them, he'll actually respawn with a bunch of health. And the Animo one's a little different than the others. The other ones, if you do the like activity during their downtime, it actually defeats them. But for whatever reason, Animo doesn't die after you collect all those. So you actually still do have to defeat him one more time. Here we can just go right in. Do it right away. And there you go. And each, you'll see as we go through the Hypostasis, each one is a little different when they hit that, regeneration phase. All right, cool. So that is Animo Hypostasis. All right, we'll open up our map, and we'll just go down the way. Next up, Cryo Regisvine. Very cool. This is the one that you'll go to if you need cryo materials. And you'll notice that each boss has, a different element associated with them. And, you'll have to defeat the corresponding boss to ascend characters of a matching element. Oh, I always go backwards on this one. You don't need to climb that. You can just turn around. Yeah, so you beat the Animo one when you're sending an Animo character, right? You beat the Cryo one when you're sending a Cryo character. It all makes sense. All right, so here's the Regisvine. Oh, I was hitting the wrong button. We didn't have to take that hit there. Ooh. We also didn't need to do that. That's okay. You can see if you're paying attention here, after you break the initial seal on the bottom, its face will get a secondary seal, and if you break that secondary seal, you'll actually stun it. So we'll do this right quick, and that should hit its secondary seal, and it'll collapse. So when you fight this boss, first off, don't get hit by so many silly abilities like I just did. Those were all avoidable. But second, you really want to just attack the gem at its base. You'll break it, that'll stun it, and then the gem will move to its head, and you'll break it there, and you'll also stun it. And that's the best way to fight this boss. Interestingly, I don't think the like open world kind of field bosses really scale all that well. So as you push AR, you're going to find they become much easier than the first time you fought them. So if you really want to enjoy the fight and not have it be so like pushover like it looks like in this video, I would strongly recommend, sometimes the chest spawns here by the way, I would strongly recommend fighting them at the lowest AR you can, because it's a lot more fun. You'll enjoy it more. And hopefully over time, you know, MiHoYo will fix the scaling of these bosses and, you know, make them a little bit more interesting. All right. Now we're going to move on to the Electro Hypostasis. And we're not going to use our ability here because it's going to break. And once it breaks, we're going to need our ability to be able to take it out. And we're actually going to miss it here. You'll see. We might have enough elemental damage actually just off basics. Yep, there it goes. And you need to kill those three with pyro attacks. So if you're fighting Electro Hypostasis and you see he breaks out into those 3 diamonds, you have to use pyro element damage to destroy them. So like if Kaching was out, this wouldn't do it. Chi-Chi out, not gonna do it. It has to be pyro. Most people just use Amber, and Amber with 2 fully charged shots, regardless of the level she is, will be able to take out each diamond. So bring Amber in your party and fully charge your shots, and you should be able to defeat all 3 of those diamonds really easily. All right, cool. Well, that's half of them. Let's move over and fight the Oceanid, the water one. Probably the most difficult, I would say, of all of them. All right, here we are. You don't have to freeze your way. You can just swim. I'm just doing this to heal. All right. There she is. So for this boss, it's a little different than all the others. You don't actually damage the boss directly. You fight the ads on the ground. So you can completely ignore the boss in the air. What that boss is doing is irrelevant. As you kill these ads, you can see the boss will take damage. So that was a little tricky for me the first time I fought this boss. I was like sitting here with like a bow user trying to shoot it. I was like, why doesn't it take any damage? Yeah, it's because you're not supposed to attack the boss. You're just supposed to fight the ads. And pay attention because each ad is a little different and comes with different quirks, right? So like the bull or the pig, I guess, charges. And it also heals like over time, so it's kind of like almost a soft DPS check. And then you could see as you're fighting this boss, platforms start to fade away and disappear. No big deal, you know. You'll be fine. All right. Look at the birdie. All right, so here you could see they start to do like pretty respectable damage, I would say. And I don't have to be fighting these with Pyro either. See this big bubble? If anyone figures out how to avoid damage from that, let me know. As far as I can tell, that bubble is unavoidable. You might be able to iframe the explosion, but so far I haven't been able to do it. It's just guaranteed damage I take every time, basically. Yeah, look at how much damage D-Luke does to these things. You can see each one's different. So like these birds will hop backwards. So you want to attack them from the front and, or excuse me, from behind so that they don't hop off into like an invalid area. Because they can hop off into like where there's no platform. And then it really sucks. Some good heals. And most of the time when you fight stuff like this, I actually recommend you use like an Electro character. I think you'll actually get a lot more value out of fighting with an Electro character. We're just using D-Luke because D-Luke's pretty big for us. So there's like no reason not to use him. You can see he can just like tank these hits, and he also is like critting for a ton of damage. Let's see if we can iframe that. Nope. I was too slow. That wouldn't have worked even if iframing does work. Alright, you kill enough mobs, boss dies, and you redeem its loot. Cool. Alright, next up for us, we're going to move down to Pyro Regisvine. That's what my buddy was looking for just now. And we're actually, the TP for this is in the middle of our route, so we're actually going to run past the elites that are here and not fight them, because we're going to come back for them later. Like, see that lady up there and these dudes rolling around? I want to show you guys a farming route after this, and it'll be separated into a different video on YouTube. But, yeah, we're just going to ignore them for now so we don't mess up the farming route. I think we got enough space between them. Do we heal up our boy D-Luke? Give him a little health. It's not really going to do much in this fight. This isn't his fight. This is actually her fight. A little dude just hanging out waiting for us. There's all kind of treats up here. I'm going to avoid them for right now. Alright, so for this one, we're going to change up our party a little bit. We don't actually run Jean in this. We run Mona instead. Primarily because water is actually very good against fire. Go figure, right? It makes sense. So this boss is basically the same as before, right? There's a gem down here. You want to break it. After you break it, the boss is going to fall over, just like the the cryo one. We're on the pyro one. And then you're just going to beat it, right? You can do like some super conduit stuff. And just like the one before it, it's going to have its own abilities, right? And you're going to see the gem. We'll even take our time here fighting it. You're going to see the gem is going to transfer to its head. Oop. You see it up there? Kind of hard. It won't let me angle up past this. But you can see the life bar on it. There it is. What we can do here is we can do this. That's going to break it. We'll do her ulti. And that should be it for Pyro Regisvine. Goodbye, old friend. cool. Collect all that loot, and then we'll move on from Pyro Regisvine down to the 6th and final open world boss, which is the Geo Hypostasis down at this island. And for Geo Hypostasis, you're going to need to bring a few things. So remember, Animo Hypostasis, you can fight with anything. With the Electro Hypostasis, you're going to need to use Pyro. And for Geo Hypostasis, you can bring really any Claymore user. But I think you'll find that the most effective character to fight Geo Hypostasis is Noelle. But any Claymore user will do. You just need to be able to break pillars. And similarly, if you're using like Ningguang or someone who's Geo, they can also break pillars. So you'll have like actually a couple of options for that if you don't want to use two-handed weapons for whatever reason. All right, that guy goes down. That guy goes down. And across the way we go. You can choose if you want to fight these guys or just run past them. It's totally up to you. Like this big guy up here is a pretty good and fun fight. We're going to ignore him for now because he's part of a different farming route that we run on this island. But like there's a bunch of really good mobs on this island that we can go ahead and fight. Let's go up to Geo Hypostasis. There he is. By the way, fun fact. You see how the like cubes are kind of broken up and like chipped? I've noticed that that happened as AR started ranking up. I don't think they were actually that way originally. So the visual of the bosses is starting to change as our world evolves. It's kind of interesting. Maybe they'll have like some super form that will unlock at later ARs. You can hit them once. So these are the pillars that you want to break. And if you break a pillar while Geo Hypostasis is on top of it, it'll actually... we have to dodge that. It'll actually drop him and stun him, even if he's not vulnerable. So, like, you get it close to breaking, but I wouldn't actually break it unless he's on top of it. See what I'm saying? So now he's going to go over to this one. So he's going to do a channeling ability, so we're going to break it, and it'll drop him. And now he's vulnerable, and we can hit him. And basically, unless you see him do this, like, Thor's hammer smash that you'll see, he almost always is on top of one of these tower locations. So you're going to have to break these. It's not really an optional thing. And so we can just walk up to whichever one and start hitting it. All right, so if this thing spawns, hit this thing twice, and it will form a shield that will protect you from the rippling that comes out. Yeah? So that way you can keep beating on the pillar as long as you stay in the shield. Otherwise, you basically just have to wait this out. So this is really nice because you could just knock him down and then do a ton of damage, right? Now, sometimes you won't be in range to break that barrier. So if you're not in range, no worries. Just run away and wait for the ability to channel out. All right. Now he's going to appear on top of that one. Now he's going to appear over here. He's going to do Thor's hammer. La-boom. And that's it. And once you make him vulnerable, his phase, just like the other bosses, is a little different. In his phase, you have to break all the pillars. So this is easiest with Noelle, but it can be done with any Claymore user, as you can see right here. You just need to make sure you don't miss any hits, and you use sprint to reset any soft slowdowns. We actually missed. I actually took too long. But I promise you it can be done in one rotation. We just took too long. That's my bad. Yeah, I just wanted to show you extra moves. Maybe he'll do his machine gun move. Now we're going to get hit by this. And we'll drop him. And then that'll be that. One last pillar will come back. So that's actually a good opportunity to show you just how they heal if you don't beat it. And then if we don't kill this, he'll actually, I think, heal again. So we have to kill it. And then he's defeated. Cooly, cooly. Alright. So that's all 6 of the world bosses that are like kind of these open world ascension map bosses. There are 2 more bosses that you can fight. These remaining 2 bosses you can only clear once a week, and if you haven't completed the story yet, this is probably where you want to end the video so you don't have spoilers. But if you have completed the story, no worries, you can keep watching, and we'll go ahead and start with... normally I prefer to do Dvalin first and then go to the wolf, but we're actually in this interesting spot where we have this like wolf Andreas. But I swear they like changed his name last time we fought him to something else. We have this achievement that we can do for Andreas. So part of me was thinking I'd do Andreas first if we were close to 40. But I guess since we can't hit 40, we'll just go ahead and do Dvalin first, and then we can go to Andreas afterwards. So Dvalin is up here. You'll have the waypoint. You can see there's many levels of Dvalin. many, many levels. And we're going to go do Stormtear 3. Which we can do because we're above AR35. Before we go in, let's make some quick adjustments to our party. So, one of the things we can do when we're fighting this, and props to Oreo for showing me this on his own video where he was able to clear Dvalin in, I think it was under 30 seconds. Yeah, I'll like, just ask me for a link to it or I'll put it in the description, but it's like really impressive clear time. Anyways, and one of the things he was doing is he was bringing Official with to drop a little bit of extra damage, and I thought that was actually pretty smart. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then I don't think our third actually matters as much, so I'm going to bring Amber, and the reason I'm bringing Amber, and you're like, well, why would you swap Mona level 70 for Amber level 11? The reason is for this elemental resonance effect, which if I bring 2 Pyro with, I'm going to get this increased attack by 25%. And I think that's going to help speed up our clear time. And we're primarily just going to cycle between these 3 during the fight. Okay. So that's that. And if I'm rusty on this fight, sorry guys, it's been a little bit since I fought homie. Look at all this good loot we can get. We're hoping for this. Something in that vein for dropping. Knock on wood. Alright, let's go ahead and get ourselves some resin. So there's no doubt about whether or not we're going to be able to redeem rewards. If you forget, I'm pretty sure you can just top up while you're in the actual run. Alright, here's a boy. What the hell? How did we end up back down here? Okay. Somehow it teleported us off the top of him. That there's some weird bugs with this fight, let me tell you. I've had me get stuck underneath Dvalin's neck before. There's some weird things that happen in this fight. It's a little buggy. Alright, so when he does this, you're going to run to the edge, find a wind current, take it up to maximum, and just sail across. And you basically just ignore him. He's going to fly through. You can't take any damage when you're flying. And you're just going to pop up on these and rotate until you find a platform that doesn't have those claw marks. That way you don't take persistent AoE damage. We shoot him in the sky? Yeah, it doesn't really do any damage, though. You can hit his claws while he's down like this, though. Alright, we're going to start on the other side for his wind breath. We're just going to switch over to the side that he's not on. And we'll knock him over here. Wait for him to fall. Climb our way up. Try to do this properly this time, where we switch to the deployables we want. There you go. This is what we were trying to do before. And this is what Oreo did in his video, but we royally screwed it up on the first rotation. And that's it. And that's the end of Dvalin. He does have a couple of other moves that he didn't use on us there that you'll be able to see if the fight goes long, including one move that like completely nukes your platform, where you actually need to jump off the platform. And trust me, when he does it, you'll know what's happening. You'll see him do some crazy charge up, and you'll be like, holy smokes, I need to get the hell out of here. Bad luck. Normally he drops a legendary. We just got unlucky. No legendary this week. Well, at 35, in my experience, I got legendaries on OBT both times I cleared them. So maybe I shouldn't say normally. Just for me, it was normally. And this time, unfortunately, we didn't get it. But it is possible. All right. Let's move on down. That's our one clear for him the week. And you can see, just scroll all the way to the bottom. Well, interestingly, it doesn't actually say it on him here. But for here, it says 1 out of 1 attempts to claim treasure. And I'm pretty sure that's true for Stormtear. I'm not sure why it doesn't say it there. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. All right. So, for the wolf's element is actually ice. So, we're going to change our loadout a little bit in terms of party. So, go back. And in this instance, for ice, I actually think we can get quite a bit of good use out of Kaching. And we could also get use out of Mona for freezing, or we could go ahead and run Official and put a Raven out for a little bit of extra damage. I don't know which one is better, and since we just used Official in the last fight, we'll just go ahead and use Mona for this fight, just for the sake of diversity. I think we'll be able to clear with either one. Like an awkward area we picked to climb. Sorry, guys. Second for stamina regen. End up falling off. There we go. There's probably a much faster way to get to him than climbing all these rocks. I think there's even like a direct path in. But yeah, it's been a while since we've cleared this. In fact, we haven't even cleared it on global once yet. These are first clears for both Dvalin and Andreas on global for us. Not in terms of like global players. Lots of global players have cleared this content already. We were just holding off to try and push AR as far as possible. And I would strongly encourage you guys also, when fighting Dvalin and Andreas here, to wait until Sunday, because you don't know how much AR you're going to get. And the higher your world rank, the better the rewards, though you wouldn't know it from the rewards we just got from Andreas, or I mean from Dvalin, but hopefully Andreas will be better. All right, let's jump into it. I swear to you, his name is different when you fight him in the story. It's very strange. It's like a localization error. So whenever you see him put ice down, get the hell out of the way. And then he's going to do a swipe. Yeah. He's got like a forward swipe attack also that has like almost no tell on it. There it is. He does like a, you see what I'm saying? He does like a kind of a upward front piece to himself. But the tell's not very like obvious, I would say. There it is. And just try to stay on the back of him when he does that. See, and if you don't get out of there in time, it really smacks. Really smacks. You can also iframe that, by the way. So if you're stuck like fighting him and you're trying to do like speedrun mastery, which we're clearly not doing today, you can actually iframe all of these slashes. We'll see if we can do one here. We didn't get it. All right. Eventually, he'll enter this mode where he just kind of goes apeshit around you, and you just have to keep your eye on him. And it's pretty easy to dodge. It just kind of takes time. So spin your camera, watch him, and when he charges you, just dash out of the way. No big deal. And we could actually use this opportunity to heal some also. All right, here he flips in. And now he's going Super Saiyan. Yeah. And this is where the fun really starts. He's actually, in my opinion, a little easier to fight in this mode. Yeah, I don't know if that was their intent or not. I think he's a little bit easier to take on when he becomes big. Strangely enough. Oh, we're taking a lot of damage there. And that's Andreas. And there you have it, guys. All of the bosses that are currently available in Genshin Impact, fought and defeated. And this time, we got a legendary. Troops Dawnlight. As well as a whole bunch of purples. That's more what you want to see. You can take a look over at troops right here. Yeah, not the substats we're looking for. But it is a legendary. And it could have rolled any one of the other legendaries that we've collected along the way. Alright, cool. Lots of fun. Easy to do. Again, 60 resin bosses. Make sure you do them once a week on Sundays. Is my recommendation to you, so you can push your world rank as far as possible. And then, you know, the world bosses that are kind of just available out in the open field, I think you can do those, you know, as you see them. And it's just kind of whatever makes the most sense for you. Look at all this crazy AR we're about to get. How amazing is that? Feels so nice. Now we just need to be able to complete these. But yeah, that would have given us a ton of AR rank. As you can see, it'll just keep popping up in the hundreds. Yeah, we should check out what piece we got too. Defense. I always get trolled. Defense, energy, defense. We've been very unlucky in that category. That's also one of the reasons why we want to rush our way up. And we can also grab this for BP level 25. Hallelujah. So many rewards. Feels nice, man. All right. And you can see we're just shy. We have a few more resets available for us today. So I think we'll definitely hit AR38 today, which is pretty cool. And yeah, great time. Great time. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please subscribe. And thanks for watching.